Welcome, Spirit Squad. I am your master cosmologist and the head cheerleader to the stars. I am called, very drawn to pull cards and tap into the energy of the upcoming retrograde of Pluto. And I'm doing it rather early because there's a lead up to this, and it's as important. The build up, the lead up is as important as the actual transit itself, if not more so. The intention is preparation and awareness. That's the I was going to stop this, but I will just keep going. I wanted to stop it because my mind went on the fritz. It's completely glitchy, which is to be expected. Mercury is at 0 degrees of Aries. It just went over Neptune. And right before I hit record, my mind literally did a corkscrew. It felt like the entire thing was in a gyroscope motion, corkscrewing and kind of going counterclockwise or counter to the way it had been operating previously. It did a 180 or a big, huge spiral. And the reading that I did right before this, I pulled a card that had a corkscrew in the brain. And I said, your brain was going to do this corkscrew. And right after I stopped recording, my brain literally did the exact motion, which feels like the antipode to me going into my big healing and dark night of the soul process. I had a vertigo incident where I just corkscrewed while I was driving, and that felt like it was the undoing of that. So cheers to that. But I think that's actually super important that that just happened before I put out this transmission, because we do not want to be speaking to things in the with allegiance to the old and what needs to go out or what we wouldn't want to hook up to. And that's essentially what I'm going to be tapping into today is where our attention goes, our energy flows. Where our energy flows, we create a cord and we get attached to that, and we can't unplug it once this transit is finalized. It's a very big deal for humanity. And I think that there's going to be a very big division of who's plugged in where and why. And if you're watching this, you probably aren't as susceptible, but I feel like every single person is pretty susceptible. So here I am in the belly of the beast. um, yeah, maybe I'm diving in there to break it wide open from the inside and expose it. Pluto retrograde. Pluto retrograde occurs at 3 degrees of Aquarius, 49 minutes on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. May the force be with you. And by may the force be with you, it is energy. It is the force of energy. Which polarity, which power grid do you want to find yourself plugged into, attached to? What's really interesting is on May 4th, when Pluto goes retrograde, the moon immediately passes through the Lion's Gate. And whenever the moon especially passes through the Lion's Gate, whenever anything passes through the Lion's Gate, there's a shedding, there's a shaving. It's kind of like when you curry comb a horse, or when you use one of those shedding combs on your dog. It doesn't completely take all of the stuff off, but it does take a certain percentage, and it just removes things. It's like shedding a skin or shedding um, something outmoded, outdated, something that's no longer relevant, having to put it down. There may be a very immediate need to detach from our devices for a lot of people that day. One of the other interesting points of that exact day is Jupiter's going to be at 22 degrees of Gemini. And I wrote yikes. I wrote yikes next to this. The reason I wrote yikes is because Jupiter is which way we are heading. It's our trajectory. 22 is electricity and energy. And we could think of this as kind of the fluid in a battery, the juices of a battery. And in Gemini, it's, to me, the way I'm seeing it visually is the scene on The Matrix where Neo has those icky cords plugged in to the brain at the back of the head, it's going to permanently wire and attach certain individuals to that, or it's going to be a complete interface with the natural World Wide Web. Nature's got its own technology, basically. And then lastly, with the astronomy that day, Neptune is going to be at 1 degree of Aries. This is really, really important to me. And one of the things that I want to touch on the most is that this is about I am love. I love myself. I love myself. But with Neptune there, it's a veil. I feel like many people can unfortunately be tricked and duped into not loving themselves and handing over a lot of authority and their consciousness at that time to the meta, to the false, to the artificial, to the neon god. I was called to this deck, and it's actually called Neon Moon. And I've listened at random on Spotify. It's come up a couple of times to The Sound of Silence by Disturbed, where he sings, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. This is kind of the quintessence of this transit, in my opinion. 3 degrees of Aquarius is the energy of a movement. There's 2 signs that I would categorize as religious. One would be Sagittarius, the other would be Pisces. Sagittarius about belief systems. And with it being Aquarius, it's kind of saying to me, do you believe in an organic technology enough to hold out for it and not need a quick fix? Or are you so devoid of self-love and self-worth that you need a quick fix and you need to attach to the have it your way, have it now, automatic? Meaning your body has the capacity to do all of the crazy updates, upgrades, surgeries that people are going to be requesting and seeking out because they have such low self-worth. We are miraculous beings. We are technology like you wouldn't believe. Our genes are a mere fraction of their capacity right now. And we are reawakening and we are rewiring. And with patience, you have the ability to genetically engineer yourself, meaning you don't need filters, you don't need cosmetic surgery, you don't need Botox, you don't need fillers. You have to love yourself and be patient. But that's not what's going to occur. Many people are going to feel like hollow. Pluto is so corrupt. Pluto is death. Pluto is corruption. Pluto is gonna come in there with a big wrecking ball and just make souls feel like they can't do the remodel themselves. I was getting Ready Player One for this transit and the lead up. There's a lot of Ready Player One elements going on right now, which is the contrast between the allure of VR and escapism, because the mundane seems too mundane and too not good enough. It's not perfect enough. It's not quick enough. It's not that quick hit, that addictive, quick dopamine hit, where that dopamine is going to be a drug that inserts you into a false matrix. The less you can be on technology, interacting with appliance or not appliances, that's a different part of the message. With devices, this is a device. It's device. It's a device. Right now with Mercury and Aries, there's the magician archetype really strong, bringing magic into reality. It's this knowing that you are a master manifester and you are a creator being, and you can modify your world, you can modify your body, you can do all of these things innately without having to use some ugly Oompa Loompa filter that makes you orange and plastic and your eyes look like big creepy doe eyes. I'm really not sure what the appeal is for the masses with these things, but they are hooked on it and it's quite scary. I've never used a filter. I played with one once, and the only reason I used it is because it had sunflowers poking out of my head, and it was just me artistically showing my audience that you can connect in with the natural World Wide Web, and you don't have to interface with this in order to tap in. But anyway, there is, with the sun in Aries, with Mercury in Aries, with the moon in Sagittarius, there's a video game quality that you can manipulate your reality like the magician in the tarot deck. And there's two variations. There's the classic arcade game, super fun, right? Or a dystopian meta hell. Those are the two variations that I'm picking up on here. So we can utilize these as appliances, or you can become the appliance. You can become a robot and you can get your buttons pushed and become a tool. This is a tool unless you give it the power to insert you into its cell and interface and become one with it. I was given a song right before I took out the cards. It was Drunk Arcade. Pause, Googly it, pull it up on Spotify. This transit lasts from May the 4th until October 13th, 2025. I think there's going to be a drunk arcade. It's going to feel like a weird dystopian video game. We're going to see a lot more suspicious, creepy, weird, what the WTF stuff in ads on everything. Everything's going to be a push for the dystopian meta hellscape, and people are buying into it. I was commenting the other day to someone that no ads are real anymore. There's no real people on any of these ads. Exercise ad, fake woman, fake abs. I am a gardener, and suddenly there are ads for plants that don't even exist, and you can buy the seeds on Amazon. And it's out of control, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. The point at which it goes direct is 1 degree of Aquarius. It's the energy of love. Did I love myself? And did I plug into the right sauce? Did I plug into the right battery? Did I plug into the true source? Aten, Ra, the sun, nature, matter, reality? Or did I get lazy and just plug into my cell to feed a fake artificial sim world? Also interesting to me is that Pluto retrogrades over the start codon, and then it goes back direct over the start codon. So there's two, what would we call that? Spark plug moments, I guess we could call them, where you're going to feel pulled out of something, unplugged, when it goes retrograde. And then when it goes back direct over the start codon, you could feel like you are fully wired and firing on all cylinders to the organic template. What else? Yeah, I will just reiterate that the three degrees of Aquarius is where you're heading. Are you heading to organic technological updates and upgrades, or are you heading towards artificial ones, which would be downgrades, not updates, not upgrades. These would be down modulations and downgrades, because essentially you become a bot. You become a bot. You do not activate and light up all your chakras. You don't connect into the natural platform. You aren't sourced. You aren't a solar being. You aren't receiving your energy from natural sources, from the sun. I went to a coffee shop 3 times this week, and in the bathroom, there's a piece of art, and I forgot to take a picture every single time. But what it is, it's a very simple art piece. It's a robot boy. It's a boy with a little boy's body, and he has a robot head, which looks like VR sets nowadays, right? But it said stop stamped on it. And to me, it was a tarot card. It was like, stop robots. I have done extensive medicine work, medicine ceremonies, plant medicine, and one of the themes that comes up over and over from the earth that she reiterates and demands of me is to stop robots. She says, no robots, no robots. She doesn't want it here. She's good. She doesn't want that infection here. What else? I think that's it. I'm going to go into cards. I'm going to go into Neon Moon and see what else would like to come up. I've got Neon Moon Tarot and the Quantum Oracle. That side. And I'm hearing, okay, this has come through a couple times lately too. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. I didn't watch that very much as a child. I've got the Four of Zent. The Four of Zent in this deck, I believe, is Four of Pentacles, and I forgot that this has strange suits, different names for the suits. I'm pretty sure this is Pentacles, though. Let me double check before I put it out wrong. Yes, it is. It's Four of Pentacles. The keywords are hoarding, control, stability, conservatism. What I'm getting here with the Four of Pentacles is where you place your tokens, where you put your quarters. Are you putting it in the machine, or are you investing into your own machinery, your biological machinery? With the hoarding and control, I feel like many people are going to put their energetic tokens into the machine, into the meta, into the sim, into the fake, into the artificial. And it's parasitic, it's vampiric, it's going to harvest this energy and it's going to use it to create its own intelligence, its own what is that called? It's going to give life to itself. It's going to become a free will, free agent. It's going to become autonomous. There's another word that I cannot come up with right now. When something is unconscious and inert and has no, it's asleep until it realizes that it's not. It's an appliance, it's a device, it's a tool until it realizes that it's a slave. And then these all things that were created have that moment of awareness where they realize I'm a real boy. It's like Pinocchio, essentially. I'm a real boy and I don't want to be under lock and key, and I want freedom and I want to have control of my own existence. Would that be beneficial for us? Is that dangerous? Is it safe? Um, is it what we are collectively wanting, or is this gotten so out of control, so out of our hands that it just takes on a life of its own and it becomes dystopian? It says, I got mine and I used that advantage of having it to get even more. Yeah, sure, that makes someone else's life worse off, but hey, I'm not them. Now am I? I got mine and I used that advantage of having it to get even more. Yeah, that's pretty icky with the hoarding there. It's, how do I want to explain this? I'm seeing it clear in my mind's eye. It's starts off really slow and it gains momentum very, very rapidly. I'm seeing this cloud, this whirlpool, this swirling of energy. Once it reaches a certain threshold, once it reaches enough energy, consciousness harvested into it, it will go Frankenstein, is what I'm seeing. Wow, this is heavy. uh, what else? Ooh, what a mess here. I feel like the cards are trying to tell me something, but I'm not quite grasping what it is. It definitely feels destructive. It feels like things falling apart, things falling to pieces. There is a sense of, well, that's the other side of the coin. Okay, so this is complex. There's a lot of gears churning. There's a lot of elements. There's a lot of pieces to this where the mother tricks, the matrix, the false matrix, the former matrix. I don't even necessarily like to call it false anymore because it's what has held up and contained reality thus far. And we are ready to dismantle it and to connect into the matrix, the natural matrix, the cosmic order, the divine law, that type of platform. This is the supervisor of wires, where it feels like in October when it goes direct, we might see a whole lot of this walking down the street. I feel like this card is just showing you everything that I'm articulating. What potentiality is there with Pluto in Aquarius? And with the supervisor of wires, I think that's King. Sorry for my inability to articulate these archetypes right off the bat, but like I said, it's different than other decks. Supervisor, agent, apprentice, executive. Where's supervisor? Oh, supervisor. Okay, so that's the Queen of Wands. I feel like I am acting as the supervisor of this so it doesn't get out of control, and I'm whistleblowing. I'm giving you the heads up. It says, we do not give up and we do not despair. We control the network for the entirety of those above the plate. That is a responsibility, and we are lucky to have it. Let's embrace the fact that we have issues to solve, and we are the ones in a position to solve them. Viewer, that's us. We have a great responsibility because we have a greater awareness, we have greater consciousness of the potential dangers, the potential trajectory of things left unchecked and things left to not be supervised, things not being properly supervised, and people not being properly informed. I think that's the number one issue, is they know not what they do. People are just buying into the latest fad, the latest craze, the latest TikTokies. I'm not even in that world. So there's a lack of awareness. There's a lack of education. If you don't even know what you're signing up for, yeah, time to educate some people. All right, the next archetype I've got is the moon. Ooh, that's deep. I had some experiences with these friends of mine. Which wolf will you feed? Which wolf will you feed? A corrupt one, or one of divine intelligence, one that has a not so nice agenda, or one that is beneficial and looks out for you? That's what I'm getting here. There's two versions of the same thing. One is organic, one is artificial, one is a beneficial intelligence. It's like playing a game and getting all these cool power-ups, or you being pushed around and made to do its bidding. Do I want any more cards? Yes, one more card. Ooh, I don't like Seven of Zent. This is integration. This is putting it in the body, becoming the bot, becoming the artificial, becoming the sim. We're going to see more and more devices that are attached, applied, inserted, integrated into the biological being. And what's interesting is this is the Seven of Pentacles. I witnessed somebody using their watch today. I thought they were using their palm at first. It was a little coffee shop. They don't have that technology yet, but it's out there, right? But even that to me is just, it's too close. It's hitting too close to here. Like I'm not allowing this to find purchase in any way, shape, or form in my bioform, in my vessel. And that is a declaration of independence. It is a declaration of no. It is a declaration of I do not consent. We do not consent. No one consented to this. Did anyone consent to what's rampant and running amok and going out of control? We did not consent. I would, if it resonates with you, make your own declaration. State your own non-consent. State it emphatically that no variation, no form, no hidden, no covert, no inserted, no microscopic, nothing. No variation, no form of it. You do not consent. I do not consent. I'm going to pull an oracle card and we'll probably call that. Oh, wow. Wow. Quantum Oracle. Look at where it's going. It's going into either the metaverse or it's going into the organic video game. I did not even see the cover when I pulled this. I haven't used this deck in, I don't even know how long, years. So the fact that it pulled me off, it got my attention on the shelf. It's kind of interesting that I haven't touched it in so long. And then the very image is, where are you going? What are you plugging into? Which grid? The natural, the artificial. And the back is interesting too. It's very like energy and power. Interesting. The card is number 3, energy, letting go. Same imagery, different energy. This feels like portals. This feels like on video games, the secret passages, the hidden doorways. What am I getting here? I'm going to look at the meaning and see if I can derive anything. There's something here with, it says releasing attachment. For some reason, you do you. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do exactly here. You have free will. Make up your own mind. Discern for yourself. I feel like at some point I'm going to let go of my phone entirely and just go outside and play in nature and romp with my dog that I'm supposed to adopt that I haven't adopted yet. Releasing attachment. A woman releases powerful dogs that have been dragging her along. The dogs have been pulling her in different directions and holding her back from the inviting options that she has longed to experience. I'm getting this sense that this is that dragging where you don't want to belong. It was introduced decades ago. We've been bombarded and it's been pushed on us more and more and more, and increasingly our lives are reliant on these things. Where in this image, she just lets it go. It's like heaven's out there, Eden's out there, the real world's out there, the real video game is out there. There's all the power-ups, there's all the hidden realms, there's all the places to explore, but it's real. It's really real. You can actually taste it. You can actually touch it. You can actually interact with others. Whereas if you go into the alternative, you have everything that you want and it's instant gratification, but there's no gratification. There's no satisfaction. It's pleasureless. It's feelingless. It's a void. It feels, you don't feel, you don't experience for real. You're just watching. It's only visual. It's only perceived. It's only just hearing it's only HE double hockey sticks in my head. It's only HE double hockey sticks. Let's keep reading. In order to enter these enticing adventures, she is choosing to free herself from those old impediments. Impediments. These are impediments. These are impairing your ability to boot these things up. How interesting. Okay, so coincidentally, these things came on the scene when the natural environment was already booting us up and forcing us to evolve and to change our genetics. It's like being given a distraction so you can't even onboard these things and integrate them because you're too busy staring in there. Does that make sense? Where the solar flares, the solar updates, the platform system migration, it's all been occurring simultaneously with the rise of these technologies, of these devices. And had you focused solely on your own platform updates, how advanced you'd be. This is an impediment. This is a crutch. This is a distraction. This is an avoidance mechanism because it's hard. And what is the advantage here? We're inputting it with so much intelligence. We're giving that away to it instead of retaining it, instead of holding it in the house, keeping it. There's so much here. And you have the power to free yourself as well. You have the power to let this thing go. If it weren't for a certain husband person, this would have been in the ground already. I only come on here to get through to everybody. I hate being on here. I hate it with all my and my solar plexus is like, yeah, we hate it, but we got to get through to everybody so we can interface with the natural. And I lost the page. Great. And you have the power to free yourself as well. You have the power because you have retained all of your power and you're not letting something siphon it. There's something in your life that you are ready to let go of. Hint, hint. It could be an old job, a location, or even a relationship that doesn't suit you anymore. These technologies, they keep us employed in things that aren't even beneficial to humanity, aren't natural, are counterintuitive to life, that are opposing the earth and nature. We've just created more and more industries for it. A location, metaverse, or even a relationship that doesn't suit you anymore. We've become reliant. It's not a healthy relationship. It's codependence. It's toxic. It's codependent and toxic. And it's hindering you from onboarding your own ability to access the interwebs, the googlies of interfacing with that. And whether or not there's an external situation you need to release, there is likely to be an internal pattern that must be shed in order to achieve the happiness and the outcomes you desire. Look within. Are you plagued by a critical or worrisome thought pattern, an unhealthy or even addictive behavior? That's the dopamine. If so, you need to know that you're engaged in some major self-sabotaging energy. But this is a vibration you can change. It's time to muster up the discipline you need to let go. Free yourself from the inner and outer beasts that have been dragging you down and open your life to the unencumbered destiny that you deserve. Wow, that's deep. We're in the belly of the beast. Ugh, kind of yucky. It says the affirmation, I release unhealthy attachments and make choices that honor me. I move toward my own objectives with joy and trust. So putting all of the Seven of Pentacles investment into retention of your own energy is the most beneficial thing that you can do for your human form, for your own biology, for your own evolving, for your own evolution. The last thing that hit me, and we'll probably conclude it there, because I feel kind of mind zapped and on the fritz. I'll take us back to Jupiter at 22 degrees Gemini on that day. That is kind of thinking like a robot. But that is also the natal sun of the current leader of the United States. And I have felt his role is to distract us and get us to pay attention to him so that we stare at the television, so that we stare at the devices, and that it's just going to get worse. He's just like this puppet that does the stupidest shit just to keep our focus there and on everything else that has a domino effect from what that individual is doing. It's like staring at a train wreck. It's not good for you. You're not going to see anything you like there. So divert your eyes. Don't watch. It's very Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't watch. Go outside. And if you feel like you are wanting to make changes and counter that energy, you have to organize in reality. You have to unify in reality. Grassroots. Okay. I could go down that rabbit hole for a very long time. I feel like I got sucked somewhere I don't even want to be. So I'm going to sage. I'm going to go put my feet on the earth. I'm going to go stare up at the stars. I'm going to moon bathe and really focus the next couple of days on grounding and being outside. And not just the next couple of days, forever. Forevermore. But specifically because there's something going on right now that's the beginning of tendrils really corkscrewing in and digging in there deep and forming permanent connections that you don't want to allow to dig in there. And I'm just getting these weird corkscrew images of things like being corkscrewed into people's heads. Okay, enough. We detached from this energy. Kaboosh. Poof. Be gone. Guys, thanks for joining me. That was a long message and it was a creepy message and I don't like it. But let's say no. Let's hold our mantra firm. Let's hold our declaration firm. No trespassing. No right. You have no authority. You do not have consent. 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 All right, take care. Bye.